Hey there, I'm Bob Murdock, and we're here for the Evolve Fireside Chat. Today with me I've got Elijah Loeffel. He's here to explain some equipment to us today. For those of you who are not familiar with Evolve, we're a rental company and we specialize in high-end video equipment. And that's what we're going to talk about today. There's a manufacturer that's been in the Evolve inventory pretty much from day one. That's Analogway. And so today, Eli, who possibly knows more about Analogway equipment than anybody that I can think of, is going to talk about these 3 or 4 devices here. Eli, what do you have?
All right, so in our little gear tower here, on the bottom we have the Aqualon RS2, part of the Live Premiere series. The middle unit is the Zenith 200, that's part of their Alta series. And the top unit here is the Quick Matrix 4K, that's part of their Midra 4K series.
Well, okay, so we have 3 boxes, they all have names.
Sure.
What are they used for?
All right, they're used for a lot of things. What I can really speak to is how we rent them,
okay,
right? And how they get used that way.
Fair enough.
So the RS2, the Aqualon, right? This is their big box, this is the Cadillac.
This one.
Yes, exactly. Well, first let me say, everything's 4K through and through. 4K ins, 4K outs, 4K multi-viewers, right? So the RS2, that's a big box used for general sessions, right? Anything that has multiple outputs, up to 12 4K outputs, and very complex processing.
Okay.
Then we step up to the Zenith 200. It's a middle box. It's really an upgrade to the Midra series, but this one gives us up to 4 4K outputs. Also has 4 4K layers that can be processed across those outputs in different configurations. So this is getting used for small GSs, some trade show booths, where they can route and map and process, right, multiple sources and multiple small LED walls inside that booth.
Okay.
Then we move up to the Midra 4K. This has 2 4K outputs. So great for large meeting rooms, breakouts, and honestly very popular for just a general LED.
So how does the 4K fit into a breakout room nowadays?
How does 4K? So if you look at your standard breakout, right, like customers aren't requesting 4K, but the presenters' laptops, more often than not, are 4K native, right? The TVs in the room or the projectors in the room are also 4K native. So it's very common that the presenter may inadvertently, build a 4K presentation or something that requires that type of processing power. So having something that's 4K native at your fingertips lets you support that versus having to downscale or do other tricks to make it work.
Understood. So there are 2 outputs on this, correct? Mm-hmm. And I've heard tell where this is very useful in a dual language situation where you have to have like Spanish on one screen and English on the other screen simultaneous, or French and English or whatever. I've heard that this is used very much in that application.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like I said, great little box, breakouts, good for LED in general, just because you still have AOI and a lot of good high-end processing on here, so it gets used as a scaler, for LEDs. Now the Aqualon, it's quite impressive, and it's become sort of a Swiss Army knife in the industry. We've used it on a lot of virtual production type gigs because it has a lot of capabilities for processing, not just within your 4K raster, but it's really limited to its bandwidth of the processing, and it can generate reference as well. Okay. Which is quite popular.
And is there a simulator available for these devices?
Yeah. Each box has its own simulator.
Okay.
So there's 3 different simulators, one for each series per se, and they almost perfectly recreate using the box in person.
However, somebody can't just take the simulator and in a very short period of time learn how to operate these. How do we address that?
Well, we have training. Mostly for the Live Premiere, we have training classes. It's all Analogway certified, but they also have training on the website for each of the platforms, e-learning, if you will.
So if you learned the Live Premiere, how does that roll downhill?
They all use a similar interface, right?
Okay.
And structure of flow, ethos, if you will. So if you get certified and you get trained on the Aqualon, the other boxes will be very natural and easy to use. It's less of the same.
Okay, great. So what do we have back here?
All right, so back here.
The 4th device that
heavier
I talked
than
about.
it looks. So this is their RC400T controller. A little bit different than how Analogway's done controllers in the past, right? This is just more of a standard controller. It's Ethernet based, so it connects directly to your networking or to the unit via Ethernet, which allows it to be redundant control, right? Because it's not reliant on going through your control laptop anymore. So you have 4 rows of programmable buttons, and these can be set to sources, still stores, presets, memories, you name it, right? It's all configurable. What's cool is this controller can also simultaneously switch and control all 3 of these units.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
3 and then some, or just these
and
3?
then some.
Okay.
I think it does 6. I'm iffy. Haven't used it yet on show site, so but
Okay.
it does multiple units.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it, don't you?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, or you just want to maybe have us address something at a future Fireside Chat, shoot us an email. We're at solutions@evolvetechnology.live. Until the next time.